everyone, and welcome to the Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma live stream. I'm your host, Ovilee, and today we're excited to share a wealth of new information about the upcoming Rune Factory adventure coming this year to the Nintendo Switch and PC. Today, we'll take a deeper dive into everything you just saw in that incredible new trailer, including your first look at live gameplay from Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Now, I'm very excited to see that, and I know that you are too, but we're gonna get to that in just a bit. Because first, allow me to introduce some very special guests who are joining me today to dish on all things Azuma. I am excited to welcome two of the voice actors that play crucial roles in this game, as they are both the dual protagonists. Please welcome Brandon McInnis, who plays Subaru, and Suzie Yeung, who plays Kaguya. Brandon, Suzie, welcome. I'm super excited.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, of course, thank you for coming out. We're so excited to hear all things Azuma. And first of all, I just want to ask you two, how long has this been a project for you guys? Because people have been following the news for a while, and now they're excited to see your faces.
Well, it's been a while. We've worked on this for quite a while, and there are a lot of lines that our characters have.
There are a lot. We speak a lot.
So I'm hearing there's a lot of story then, is that right?
A ton of story in this game, yes.
Oh my gosh. Well then, without spoilers, of course, I do kind of have to, start poking and prodding. What was your favorite thing about working on Azuma?
It's so expansive. The world and all the characters' interactions, I think that's really what pulled it together for me, is like how our characters got to speak with each individual side character. It was just so lovely and wonderful to do that.
You get a lot of time with everyone. Things are very fleshed out, and from a narrative standpoint, it's really beautiful and well done.
So how would you describe your character of Subaru?
Subaru is, well, a lot has happened in this world, obviously, right? I talked about it being expansive. And perhaps there were some things that everyone thought were going to happen one way that very clearly are not going to happen in the way that everyone thought. And so that has to be addressed and dealt with. And yeah, I think Subaru is I'm just going to say he's a good listener. I can say that.
Oh my God. Well, I know we are going to learn more about him as we go through our live stream today, but I want to ask you the same question for you, for Kaguya, the character that you play. How would you describe her?
Like Subaru, I think she's an excellent listener. She loves listening to people. But I would say she's a little bit more refined and elegant.
Yeah, Subaru might be like slightly more brash.
Just a little bit. They're like two sides of the same coin, but they're just a little bit different. Yeah.
All I'm hearing are two amazing different characters that will get me to play the game twice over if I want the full story.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, well, already I'm in love. But for everyone else, let's quickly go over what we've got in store for everyone today. Because first, we'll take a look at what makes Rune Factory, well, Rune Factory. After that, we'll cover everything that we know about Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma so far. And finally, we'll get to see the game in action. All the while, we'll have these wonderful guests with us, so let's go ahead and get into it. But what is it? Well, it is Rune Factory, one of Marvelous Games' longest-running franchises combining farming and romance with epic action and exploration. Let's take a look at where it all began. Now, Rune Factory was originally created in 2006 as a spin-off of the game Story of Seasons series. Now, however, in Rune Factory, players are allowed to do more than just farming and ranching because they can also explore dungeons and fight monsters. To date, 9 Rune Factory titles have been released, starting with the original Rune Factory on the Nintendo DS. There are so many Rune Factory games that have been coming out over the years. I mean, personally, Rune Factory 5 was a huge favorite of mine, but Brandon, as I understand it, you have some love for the Rune Factory season.
I do, absolutely. I have always loved farming sims, and Rune Factory actually plays a very special part in my career. The very first lead role I ever had in anime, dubbing anime into English, when I got that role, I was right in the middle of playing Rune Factory 3. Yes, and the anime that I was in revolved around video games. That was the subject. of the show. And in the adaptive script, the writer actually wrote a joke about turnip seeds. And I loved it because I was right in the middle of Rune Factory 3 and I was like, turnip seeds, this is a Rune Factory reference, you know? So I loved it.
Turnip seeds are the staple crop that every farming sim game player needs to master. It's, you know, the first step for everything. But Suzie, how about for yourself? Have you played any Rune Factory or farming sim games?
I have not played Rune Factory itself, but I've definitely played farming sim games, and they're just my jam. I did have a phase where I played a ton of RPGs, and Rune Factory was always there in the periphery. Like, I loved the art and the look of it, but I just never had a chance to play it. But maybe this is the one that I'll be playing.
I feel like Azuma is definitely
Yes.
going to pull you in, girl, because again, for myself, huge farming sim fan. Story of Seasons was my lifeblood growing up. The ability to transition from, well, time to water my turnips to, well, there's a monster setting fire to the village. Let me grab my sword and go take care of business and then harvest the turnips, right?
Right,
It's
It's
the
about balance.
Yes.
the balance, the dynamics, the turnips. I really think that Azuma is going to pull you in.
Yeah.
Plus, you're already part of the game, girl. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the Rune Factory games that we've seen up into this point, starting in 2007 with that first Rune Factory game and going all the way to 2023, which was the last release there. But 2024, we're getting Azuma. I'm so excited. Something that always stands out to
I
me
mean
here.
2025.
2025.
2025.
Oh my
I know,
God.
we're
Oh my
already
gosh.
there.
I
What year
forgot
are we
where I
in?
was. I
What
forgot
year?
where I
What year is this?
We're just really overwhelmed by Azuma right now.
really over. New world, new year, new characters, new game. We're pumped. But oh my gosh, yeah, just seeing all those different titles and thinking of all of the different platforms it was on. I want to say there was all the way from DS to Wii to now we've got Switch.
Yeah.
I feel like just all of the different ways to basically take in more Rune Factory into your
It's
life.
really such an honor to be part of such a long-running franchise, you know?
Right?
Absolutely.
It's crazy to see a game that you've essentially grown up with and then you get to be a part of it. Well, I mean, you're the one who's getting to be a part of it, so what's that like for you?
I'm in a Rune Factory game. What is reality? I don't know.
Let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about Rune Factory and specifically Guardians of Azuma with our next slide that we have. Now, for the fantasy life, like the Story of Seasons series before it, Rune Factory lets players experience a lifestyle that includes farming, fishing, and crafting, including items and special recipes that you can only find in this fantasy world. And this is always something that I like that Rune Factory has kind of taken the edge to, where farming sims, they try to keep it a little realistic. But then Rune Factory, you bring in the fire sword, you bring in robots of some sort, you get some crazy storylines, and you know, it's all kind of tossed to the wind. Have there been games or Rune Factory or Story of Seasons or anything that's kind of resonated with you in that element?
I love being able to carry so many things at once, like because you can carry multiples of the same item, like over your head, right? And that's my favorite. I wish I could carry that many things. Truly.
Yeah. It's like there used to be the OG backpack. It had 6 slots in it. Well, you know what? I've got my head now. But of course, there's still more Rune Factory to learn about and more for us to discuss here because there's also adventure and exploration. Now, Rune Factory is more than a life sim. However, incorporating RPG elements like leveling up and fast-paced action combat, there's never a dull moment for players. Teaming up with townspeople and even monsters to help you is a key part of the experience too. And just talking about all the different characters, I think, that we've seen in Rune Factory, whether they're, you know, companions or the monsters that fight alongside you, or the, pardon my wording here, a buffamoo, I believe, is something that we can ride at some point. But apologies for mispronunciation if so. But just so many different things that we can see in this game, which is truly exciting. But of course, that's not it for Rune Factory, because we're forgetting about something very, very important, which is going to be, of course, we have our adventure and exploration, but I do believe we have something a little more. And that, of course, is our romance! Our romance for the ages! Because Rune Factory truly shines when allowing players to meet, befriend, romance, and marry the loves of their fantasy lives. Whether you fall for the gruff but lovable rogue or the shy shop owner that catches your eye, whatever your preference for a partner, there's someone in Rune Factory just for you. Now, Suzie, girl,
Yes.
when you open up a video game,
Uh-huh.
who are you looking for in that marriage partner?
Oh, I mean, I've got to have something to fix, you know. So it's got to be the bad boy. I always fall for them. It's inevitable. Like, I don't know why I even try.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
If there's someone with like silver hair,
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
absolutely. Yeah, Beeline, right?
absolutely. Well, I'll
that is
have to
my
fight
type.
you a little bit
Okay.
for that, girl. But you know what? It's okay. I
All
think
right, you
You're
know.
coming in with the higher weapons than I am, so maybe I'll concede that.
Yeah, sure.
But Brandon, for you?
The bigger and buffer, the better. Yeah, I just want a big, giant warrior.
He
For
can
help
protect
around
you.
the farm, right?
Yes, yes.
Just for that
I just
reason.
want to be little spoon. I just want to be little spoon. Oh, so sorry. So sorry.
A little bit of that. And trust me, we're gonna get into some of the romance options in Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma in a bit. But of course, we have to talk a little bit more about the game Guardians of Azuma. And while it is a Rune Factory game, there are also some new twists to the elements that we just discussed that fans new and old are sure to appreciate. So let's go ahead and take that look. Now, what is Guardians of Azuma, of course? Well, of course, it is the new game in the Rune Factory series set in the eastern country known as Azuma. A reimagining of the Rune Factory series that builds on the series' foundations of life sim, action RPG battle, and romance, and adds the new elements of earth dancing and village building with a uniquely Japanese flavor. Now, earth dancing and village building is something that gets me very excited because I love all things customizable and customization, and I'm sure we're going to get to that. But earth dancing, could you give me a clue as to what that may be?
Can we? I don't know.
You perform a dance and magical things happen.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to learn more about it as we proceed through the live stream. So let's take a little bit more of a look at Azuma. Now, of course, this is going to be set in the eastern country of Azuma. It's an island surrounded by the sea. Shattered into 1,000 pieces and scattered across the heavens and earth by the celestial collapse, Azuma is now a shadow of its former self. Azuma now looks to the earth dancer to play hero and restore this once prosperous land to its former glory. Now, as I'm looking at this art piece here really quick,
It's so pretty.
it's so pretty.
Yes.
So pretty.
I see 2 large dragons, and are there little people on those dragons?
Yeah, there's a little itty bitty guy on the black one.
Is
Yeah,
is that you?
That's me.
it
That's
looks
the
it
other
looks
side.
like
That's
it
about
looks like you.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
the little ponytail?
Nice. Woo, flying in the wind. It's
Woo.
giving that perfect windswept look.
Wow.
Okay, wait, I'm so sorry. Was that a turtle at the bottom right corner that we saw that seemed to be holding a lake of some sort?
I do
there a
not
turtle?
know. I do not know. I will have to play the game to know.
We're gonna have to play the game in order to find out. But just as we could see from the art so far, the world being incredibly expansive, we see a lot of the Eastern culture kind of like references and inspiration in a lot of the art. We see the cherry blossoms all around, so very much giving kind of like that Japanese vibe. Of course, we have Subaru and Kaguya, so as it should be. But let's go ahead and take another look at Azuma. Now, who are these Earth Dancers that we're playing as? The Earth Dancers are uniquely attuned to the natural powers of the land. Using special dances, they can wield sacred treasures to help bring vitality and hope back to Azuma. In this game, you'll choose to play as either Subaru or Kaguya, and use your abilities to undo the damage caused by the celestial collapse and the blight that followed. And already, just as I'm taking a look at both of the different protagonists that we have, we can see like the differences just in kind of like the character designs as a whole. And I wonder, and maybe you've said that both of them are very good listeners. But in terms of characters, do you find a difference in terms of the two?
Well, they are different characters.
Yes,
of course.
yes.
At their core, right? They have different modalities in how they interact with the world, and their worldviews are slightly different. And how they deal with conflict is different as well.
Yep.
I think what I'm most excited for truly is to see the dance animations and see how they're different. Because I don't think I've seen them.
I don't think
yet.
we've seen the full animations, the dance animations. But I would say that Kaguya is maybe a little bit slightly more refined and elegant. That's just how she carries herself. And maybe Subaru is slightly more of a loose cannon, but I don't know.
A little more over the top.
Yeah,
a little more
right,
emotional.
right.
A little more.
Kaguya's a little more restrained.
Yeah, closer to the vest, perhaps.
Kaguya is treating these treasures with respect,
Yes.
daintily, and Subaru is just coming in.
Just like
shaking them to the
smashing
wind.
things.
He knows what he's
like-
doing.
He
It's
knows what he's
fine.
doing.
It's fine. He's a trained professional.
And we love this.
He's an earth dancer.
Yes.
And we love this. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our last thing about Azuma that we have. Of course, with restoring villages and farming, this is something that I'm very excited for because farming is a part of Guardians of Azuma, but it's been expanded. You'll be able to construct and place buildings in the seasonal villages of Azuma, including barns for monsters, homes for residents, and storefronts like a blacksmith to improve your own items. And from what we've kind of like seen in some of the past teasers and trailers, it seems like a lot of this village construction and building is going to help with the quality of life of some of our players and stuff. Where do you have to run all the way into town to get the blacksmith to fix up your tools? Or did you maybe just move the blacksmith in next door to kind of cut down on walking
I
time?
like that efficiency.
Yes.
Right? I think we can all love and appreciate efficiency in farming games.
Yes. Make them come to us.
Exactly. But wait, of course, there is more within the world of Azuma. Now, as we spoke a little bit about the Eastern influences that we saw within Azuma, exploring Azuma will show you a world with Japanese-inspired aesthetics. From festivals and events to the monsters roaming the plains, Azuma is a land steeped in tradition. However, if you look closely enough, you'll see the influence of the West throughout, including items and food present in Azuma. Ooh. Now, when you guys were voice acting, maybe reading the lines for your characters, at any point does Kaguya go, "Oh boy, jelly donuts," or what would you say is maybe this Western vibe that we can find in the food?
I can't recall if they had any burgers or anything, but they had really delicious foods that they talked
There
about.
are a lot of delicious
Yes.
foods and characters that make them.
Yes, specifically, I think Dongo is one that's very prevalent.
There
and
is Dongo.
Dongo's delicious. I love Dongo.
I love Dongo too.
I adore the different colored dango, the
Yes.
dango with just the sweet
Yes.
sauce over it. Oh my gosh, so good. See, now I just want to get into the game so I can think about eating other foods. Oh, but of course, we still have more in the world of Azuma to take a look at. We also have the new weapons and abilities. So new weapons like the Bow and Talisman give Earth Dancers additional options when taking on the corruption of the land. Recruiting townspeople and monsters also returns, so you won't have to face down the threat of the Blight all by yourself. And this is something that I have absolutely adored about these games because sure, you could be the one hero kind of charging in to try to take down the enemy yourself, or you can build up that party and group of friends with amazing characters or fun monsters and allies to kind of take on the enemy as a group. Do you have any favorite allies that you can think of, either from Azuma that you've called out to in battle, or heck, just in life?
I don't know if we can mention certain characters, but I mean, I don't.
We can. I mean, I think my personal favorite character that we're introduced to very early on is Woolby.
Yes.
We're used to seeing Woolies in the game, like in the Rune Factory franchise, right? But Woolby is special. Woolby has a special place in my heart. Also, Woolby is fantastically written, just as a character. Woolby is
yes.
so much fun.
Yes.
Wonderful acting. Woolby.
Is it safe to say that Woolby will be a fan favorite? Or
I hope so.
I would think so.
Woolby's definitely a Brandon favorite.
Mascot characters are usually well loved.
I think I still have like my woolly big plushy pillow from the Rune Factory 5 release, so I'm right there with you. I feel that love. But of course, I'm not the only one feeling love when we're talking about Azuma, because we have even more to find love in a new land, everybody. That's right. Romance again plays a large part in your time in Azuma. Ranging from wandering warriors to the gods of the land, there are plenty of eligible residents to woo. Also, same-sex relationships are also included, giving you the ability to truly live your authentic fantasy life. Now, romance and dating is something that always plays a very big part for me whenever I'm playing a lot of these games, especially with how many amazing characters are included and how well written, how rounded out a lot of these characters are, especially with their stories too. So without giving, any spoilers or anything, was there anyone who caught your eye in the recording booth?
I just know that all of these characters are extremely colorful and they all have their little quirks, and I just enjoy those fun interactions between them. So I don't know, each character has their special relationship with the main character, and I don't know, yeah, I can't pick out a single one without spoiling, but some of them are very funny, and I can't wait for people to experience that themselves.
There's such a range in not only these characters, but in the relationship that you can build with them. You will be surprised repeatedly. You will be emotionally affected in wonderful ways. I know, or not.
You may be gaslit. You may be
or not. Who knows? I do know one character. I don't want to give too much away, but the writing is so good.
Yes.
I'm such a huge fan of the writing in this game, and the scripts, and everyone did such a wonderful job on this game, and I'm so excited for the fans to experience all of these relationships. I know there were many times when I laughed as well, but there were also a lot of times when I cried because stuff happens and that you are not expecting in these relationships. I know, and both like happy tears and like oh no tears, like all kind. You're all over the map with this game, and it's beautiful. I know one that sticks out, and I won't give any spoilers, but I do know that Chuelong's story hit me very hard. It really affected me, and it was so beautiful. Yeah.
Now I'm just excited. I just want to get my hands on the game right now so I could start going in and meeting all of these different characters. But listen, everyone, since we have our very talented voice actors here right now, we thought that it might be a good opportunity to talk a little bit more about working, or excuse me, my words just totally fell. Wanted to learn a little bit more about what it was like for you guys working on the game. So now, as I understand it, Subaru and Kaguya are childhood friends. Where did they first meet?
Well,
they were betrothed, I think. Yeah, it was an arranged marriage as children. But I believe they got along quite well as children.
Yes.
Yes, but things happened, you know.
Life happens.
We moved on,
Azuma
and
happened.
life happened. Yes.
So do we find, I mean, you said betrothed, but of course we have 16 different marriage candidates. So where are we on that betrothal?
Like we saw earlier in a slide, I believe we talked about the celestial collapse, which plays a large role in the story, and perhaps that affected things and changed some things.
TLDR, it's complicated.
So complicated.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, throw that status up there really quick with the it's complicated. But okay. And as we talked about the 16 different marriage candidates, who we'd like to take, or rather, what I'd like to know a little bit more is the depth of the relationships with these characters. Because as we've seen, lots of writing, lots of fantastic writing, a bunch of different characters. How would you compare the relationship and romance building in Azuma compared to other dating sim style games?
It's much more fleshed out. I think in many games there can be a tendency for dating conversations to be very straightforward. But I've found during the recording process, I was so delighted and surprised by all the ups and downs that these relationships went through, the vicissitudes, you know? And so that was really delightful for me.
I mean, keep in mind there are just so many side characters, and each one of them has an entire storyline dedicated to just them, which I don't think is seen a lot in other games where it's just so comprehensive. So you really get to see that journey with each of the characters, and you know, no one's shortcut of anything. So
you learn so much, like, because when you think about character, even from an acting perspective, we have a tendency to ask, well, what is their motivation? But there's so much more than just what do they want. what is their backstory? What are their fears? What are their hopes? What are their dreams? You know, and that has a part to play.
So then, just to kind of dig in a little bit deeper to that, as you're getting to know your characters of Kaguya and Subaru, did you ever have a emotional moment, like a moment that really hit you while you were recording?
Ooh.
Without spoilers, of course. without
Oh, that's going to be so hard. We have many. We
Yes.
have many.
There was one I know specifically I got angry over. There was one specific relationship. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll just say that me and the director were, you know, like ready to take a swing at somebody at some point. I was like,
One of the characters.
Yes, one of the characters. You will know what I'm talking about when you play this game. You will know exactly who I'm talking about. But, you know, it's fine. Everyone has flaws, right? We'll give him a pass.
You can fix him, right?
Or a-
No, we can fix him. That's
we can
Or
fix-
her.
exactly.
Or her.
Exactly.
But how about for yourself?
Oh, ooh, I'm thinking of. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. But there is one that I'm thinking of that I believe is between our characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. It was good. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much history
There is.
behind with Subaru and Kaguya. So seeing that dynamic when they're grown up and how they interact is very interesting.
It gave us a lot to work with as
did.
actors. It's really, it was luxury. Truly working on this game was luxury because the script is so good. There was so much for us to work with. So I'm really excited for the fans to experience it.
I'm excited to dive into both of your characters basically when the game starts up. Now, listen, everyone, before we move on, now your characters get to use a few sacred treasures to help you out on your journey. How would you like to get your hands on some sacred treasures right here, right now?
Give
Go.
me.
I'm
All right, well
excited for
then,
some sacred treasures.
allow me to welcome and introduce one of the localization team members at Marvelous USA, Garrison Denham, to the show, because I believe Garrison has all of the secrets.
The sacred treasures.
What do you got for us,
That's right.
Garrison?
I got the secrets, so let's get them handed out first, shall we? Now, fitting for our two protagonists.
Oh
We
my
got some
goodness.
sacred treasures to hand out. So we got the
I
drum
love
and the
pink.
sword.
Thank you.
And I'll be taking the parasol.
So pretty.
Oh, incredible. Okay, so wait, these are all treasures that the characters are using in the game, right?
Correct.
So do they have specific names? Do they have specific uses? I need to know everything because they're already beautifully designed and now we have our hands on them.
Well, luckily, what you see is what you get. You have a sacred drum, a sacred sword, and a sacred parasol.
Wow. And Garrison, how would you say, what have you been doing specifically with Guardians of Azuma? Because as I hear it, you are the pro, the expert. You've got all the answers for everything that we have today.
Well, as much as I want to take all the credit, we have a very talented localization team working on this. I just helped kind of shape some of the words and bring the dialogue to life. So, yeah, I'm really just putting words in their mouths.
And do you have a close relationship with these two? As it sounds like they've had, you know, thousands of lines apparently at this point.
Oh, yes, a lot. I mean, we got to know each other during the beginning of the recording process, and I knew we were in good hands from like session 1. So, yeah, they're pros. Yeah.
Amazing. But listen, everyone, we have waited patiently enough. Honestly, I've been waiting patiently enough. I think that it's time for some gameplay. So today we are going to be guided through several sections of Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, showcasing village life, combat, and of course, romance. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, and here it looks like we're jumping into Subaru, and where are we right now?
Right now, we're in Spring Village, one of the first villages in the game. And so this area in particular is called the development zone. So this area right here, of course, you have your farming, you have your buildings, but what's special about it is that you can customize it any way you want. So not only do you have villagers there helping out with your farming or other tasks, but things like the monster barn over there, something you can place yourself. Later on in the game, you'll get things like decorations and all these other things to truly make this space your own.
Yeah, I'm looking through just some of the things that have been popping up so far. We saw terrain tiles, we saw the different buildings. Now, as you were talking about helpers for a second there, as someone who loves farming style games, as I'm thinking back to Story of Seasons and Rune Factory, the beginning of the farming can feel like it's a bit of a chore and a bit of a grind. So how do these helpers essentially offset that?
Right, so before, like you said, farming is more like a solo experience where you're expected to hoof it all yourself. But now with the introduction of these villagers, now you have basically helping hands to help kind of streamline the whole process. So instead of you having to plant each seed, water them, wait for them to grow, and harvest them yourselves, you can assign villagers who will go through and they'll help you plant the seeds, they'll water them for you, they'll even harvest your own crops and send that directly to your inventory now.
Incredible. Are there some people who are maybe faster or better than others? Like we discussed, if there's a large buff dude coming in with an axe, should we assign him to harvest the turnips or do some lumberjacking?
They're really heavy turnips.
That's right. Sometimes you'll be very surprised what you find in this game. But yeah, so each villager kind of has their own qualities that make them more kind of specialized, their own roles. So not only will you have people that are good at, say, logging, chopping stuff down, farming like crops, maybe mining ore, and some people even have special skills down there that will help them run specialized shops for you. So depending on what they're good at, they'll have greater output, which just means more efficiently run farms at the end of the day.
Wow. And just how much of what we're seeing right now is customizable? Because we see a full grid in front of us. We've seen some of the different menus.
Right, so basically everything you see in these tiles is something that you can interact with. So we've cleared some debris, now we have more space. You can place things like buildings. So this is a blacksmith right here. So this is your own specialized shop in your area right here. So not only can you build this, you can take one of these villagers. So Kochiro, for example, he's a journeyman smith, which means that he's very well specially suited for running the blacksmith. You can assign him right to the blacksmith. And then once you back out of here, he'll show up right there.
Wow. And so besides, of course, having a blacksmith right next to your house for convenience, I guess what else does creating all of these buildings and having all of these villagers able to help you around, what else does that do for you?
So basically, the whole experience is just streamlined. Instead of there being just a specialized NPC you need to go to every time to, say, make your weapons, or maybe another one that sells seeds, basically you can take all that and bring it to this area right here. So you don't have to go and seek them out yourself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so also we were talking about sacred treasures and stuff. So another part of the process, so before you used to have to do things like water each tile one at a time, but with the power of sacred treasures, you can do things like water every single tile at once.
Wow.
Form and function.
That's right. So instead of waiting for those turnips to grow, say maybe take days, now with a couple beats of that drum, it takes just a few minutes.
Wait. That's actually just game changing.
Right? So say you have some crops that are ready to be harvested, but maybe you want some more seeds. You can use that flame sword right
Whoa.
there. Get lots of seeds.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a lot of seeds.
Okay, now I feel like I'm
fast.
almost cheating when I'm playing this. Now,
You're being efficient. You're being efficient.
okay, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
efficiency. Now,
streamlined experience.
usually when I think of this, I feel like, oh, we have to upgrade a watering can, we have to upgrade an axe or something to that capacity, but it looks like, do these sacred treasures just fall out of the sky for us, Garrison?
Well, you'll have to find out during the game, but let's just say that as you play and explore more of Azuma, you'll have more tools at your disposal to kind of help you with the process here.
Amazing. And just how many sacred treasures are there? Can you tell us?
Well, let's just say there's a good decent amount, and that you'll have to look forward to finding it out for yourself when you play the game.
Oh, I am absolutely excited about that. Wow, and so as we take a look at this, I know that some people like to have kind of like this third-person view, but are there any other ways to kind of like view customization?
Right, we've had some feedback in the past where that it can be kind of, you know, a little bit plotting, we can say, to kind of do it at a time, but now we have this nice overhead view to really streamline the experience. So now you can go to any of these tiles, you can remove debris, you can see how buildings will look when you place them down. So it really gives you this good, nice overall view of your area here.
Oh my gosh, that's life-changing.
It really is. And also, I'm just hearing the music now.
Yeah,
it's so relaxing.
calming.
I'm just sitting here like, just vibes.
It really does fit the setting. I really like it too.
This is where we need the cup of green tea,
Oh, yes.
the dongo,
Oh,
and a taco.
perfect.
Right,
And a taco? Yeah.
Western influences.
East meets West.
Oh. So what else about village life can you tell us?
Well, so basically, as you're going through the game, it's your job to kind of take care of all the inhabitants of these villages. So you're not farming just for yourself this time. You're kind of, you know, it takes a leader to feed a village kind of thing, right? So not only are these villagers helping you out, they're kind of helping themselves out too. So you'll be shipping crops to make money, to make sure that all the villagers are fed, and just kind of keep things running smoothly. See, right now we're still going on that seed binge right here. Exactly.
So I saw for a second there, it's saying how many buildings could be placed. I believe it was 2 out of 20, but then also we saw the decorations. How crazy can we get with some of the decorations in this game?
Let's just say you can get pretty creative there. There's a lot of different combinations I can do, some for the Wolby fans or
Yes.
the Monster fans. There's a lot of personality you can inject in these spaces.
Can I build Wolbytopia?
Yes.
Oh, no comments. Oh, no.
I don't want to speak in absolute.
Wolbytopia is different for everyone.
Yes.
Cool.
So as we can see here, just in the time we're talking, we already have another field that's about ready to be watered, and just the power of Sacred Treasures really does change the game here.
Cool.
I still can't get over how relaxed I am with
Look
this.
at you
Right?
go.
Just like,
Very zen. There I go with the drum.
Drum.
There you go.
Yep.
okay, so when you said it's a monster hutch?
Right, so that's a monster barn. So you can
Monster barn.
Yeah, in this game you can also befriend monsters out in the field, so you can bring them back to the farm here, and they can help with tasks as well, just like the villagers.
Now, if we have, I don't know, let's say a monster that's the size of 3 buildings combined, does that monster fit in that barn, or do we need a bigger?
If they say you have space, then he can go in there.
We
basically.
love it.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. Man, I feel so peaceful. So, is this the only place that you're able to customize?
So actually, in each village, there will be a space like that, sometimes even multiple spaces. So that's just one of the spaces we saw right there. So you'll have a lot of freedom to kind of mix and match how you want each space to look like.
Awesome. And as I understand it, it's not just village life that we're taking a look at here today. Is that correct?
That would be correct, yeah. So right now we're kind of getting it ready, but there's a lot to do in Azuma. So not just farming, but things can get kind of rough and tumble out in the fields, we'll say. So yeah, these sacred treasures aren't just for, farming and harvesting crops.
Would you say that they're also maybe a little combative?
You know what? I think I would. In fact, I think we're ready right now to jump into it and show you how it works.
Oh, fantastic.
Hi, it's me.
Oh, there you are.
Yep,
There
there
I
you go.
am.
So right now, this is a little bit later in the game. We've already defeated this boss, but we're coming back. This is the Curse 3 boss. This is a little bit how combat works. As you can see, you can build a party of other romance characters or even other villagers in the game to come help you out in fights. So right now, you can see that up by the Curse tree's name, there's 2 symbols next to them. The one's other one's like an archery arrow and like earth symbol. Basically, that's their weaknesses up there.
Oh, wow.
So you can see Kaguya just used the bow to fill up the stun gauge, which is underneath the green health bar up there. Once that's full, they enter the stun state, where you can basically just go to town and wail them and get a bunch of damage in.
Wow, it looks so fluid. It's so cool.
Okay, now we're showing up the drum. So before you use that to heal, now we're using it to kind of send out these shockwaves that can stun monsters and deal extra damage.
Amazing. And it looks like all the way that your party members are also attacking seems
Right.
very fluid as well.
Right, each one has a different role. So you'll see like Lolakas kind of has this bow/sniper style, Murasame is kind of more in-your-face attacker, and Hina's kind of like a support rogue type. So everyone's there to kind of assist you in these fights.
Oh,
So there we go, yes. As you can see, we're pulling out the bow, we're doing that extra damage again. So it's really about exploiting these bosses' weaknesses to take them down with your team here.
what would you say is the difficulty level in finding the weaknesses in each of these bosses? Will there always be a bullseye on their forehead, or
Yeah.
do you have to use your brain a little bit?
This one, the trees, a special exception there, but usually you'll have an idea what to do during these boss fights. We're not going to leave you in the dark. But there's always people giving hints. Sometimes we'll be there to kind of give you a little helping hand or a nudge in the right direction. But there's still some difficulty, as you can see. You still need to keep on your toes to make sure that you can make it through alive.
Oh no, it looks like we lost Murasame.
Oh
Yep.
no!
So, yeah, once that gauge fills up, he'll be back in action. But for now, we're down in Murasame. But there we go. Just took him out.
Whoa, look at
Rip.
All right, well, we saw the tree just absolutely go timber.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, no, that combat was actually quite quite fantastic to look at. We got to see all of the different party members. I really like hearing a lot of the voice lines from the party members kind of pop up through the fights. But how interesting that you, as the main hero, can kind of swap between whatever treasures you have to either be supportive, to deal that damage, or maybe just cheer on your party members from the side.
Right, it's a very adaptive play style when you're out there. So you can find something that works for you and then kind of make that work for the rest of the game.
How would you compare combat in Azuma compared to previous Rune Factory games?
I feel like there's plenty more options this time. We have some new weapon types. We've got all these other fun things that you can kind of mix and match. So whether it be like abilities or, like I said, new weapons or gear, you can really kind of make your own build and kind of go through the game like that.
So with the monsters that you said that you'd be able to, you know, recruit to your side, would they essentially be slot in alongside your party members, or are they more like a sidekick?
That's correct. And in fact, we might even have a little sneak peek of that
Stop, did I spoil it without knowing?
in our next section. But yeah, so basically any monsters that you befriend
Oh my
can
gosh!
be used out in the field as well.
Oh, is that a buffalo? Oh.
Some monsters can be right like this, so instead of just joining you in battle, you can kind of hop on them like this and use them to traverse the fields a little bit easier.
Best monster.
Oh, it's the
Oh
buffalo!
my
That's right,
gosh.
which you did pronounce correctly.
Oh, look at him.
Buffalo.
So it's a really dynamic party system too. So you can freely rotate them out in the fields on the fly too. So you can have a max of 6 people in your party.
6.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So like I said, a lot of customization and kind of mix and matching you can do to kind of fit your own play style.
Now, what are all these little shrines and glowy things that we're passing by?
So some of those are save points. Other ones you can kind of do a special dance at, and they'll give you items or recipes. But mostly, you'll be kind of exploring the overworld, gathering materials and defeating monsters to kind of gain experience and stuff like that.
Did he just enter some sort of bullet time?
That's
feel like
correct, yes. So you have things called perfect dodges in the game. So basically you dodge at just the right time. Time kind of slows down, allowing you to whack them back, basically.
Oh, go.
So yes, buffalo versus buffalo.
choose
So
you.
things might get chaotic out in the field, but you can always tell which one's yours by the little smiley face above his head. So you can tell which one's friend, which one's foe.
Oh, cool. Okay, I feel like I'm going crazy, but Brandon, you have a smile on your
I
face.
do.
So
I
massive.
love the buffalo so
Yeah.
much. I just love the names of monsters in these factory games.
He's a very good one.
Buffalo, woolies, cluckadoodle.
Oh,
Oh, no.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Just from a localization standpoint, cluckadoodle.
Sometimes you gotta
so
do what you gotta do
great.
in Azuma.
Like-
It's a tough world.
Now, I feel like right now we see a lot of the enemies or monsters are cute little sheep.
Yeah.
We got our little buffalo. Now, would you say that those monsters stay cute and fluffy throughout the entirety of the game?
Well, there's some variety, definitely towards the end. As you see in the distance there, I wouldn't call him tiny or fluffy or cute.
Oh no, there they are. Oh yeah.
But
Whoa.
yeah, definitely. You want to make friends with the cute and fluffy ones, but I mean, you can make friends with the meaner looking ones too. Maybe they have a heart of gold deep down, and it's up to you to kind of find that.
That's huge.
It's gonna be my goal.
Wow.
A friend like the scariest giant scary monster.
Okay, let's see the parasol in action.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not just for watering crops. You can
Oh,
nice
Oh,
seaweed
that's some
right there.
damage.
Dang.
Not bad, right? I mean, they are sacred treasures after all. If I got something from a god, I expect it to do a lot of damage too.
Wait, I think my dongo skills got a boost
Yes,
too.
I saw that.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, now we need to know, is Iroha fighting with dongos? Like, what's the, what can you reveal to us?
Well, Iroha is in charge of the tea shop in Spring Village, so her whole thing is service with a smile and also kicking butts and taking names.
Oh, how fantastic. And you know, I think it's cool. We were talking about the monsters just a second ago. We talked about the cute inspirations, but as we were talking about the Eastern inspirations as well, a little bit of Japanese, we see the colossal red oni. So already having hints to that Japanese culture there as well.
Exactly, yeah. So again, we have some staple monsters from the series, of course, but then we have the more Azuma influence here. So we have Oni, we have other, maybe more, especially influenced kind of monsters, I guess, from the new series.
I just noticed something. Is the targeting icon a spinning sakura blossom?
It could very well be.
Like right there. That's so
that.
cool.
Cute.
Wow.
Again, fitting the Azuma style.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love all the details. that went into
Gonna
this.
throw this out as well, just because we heard another voice line. I believe this was from Mauro. I think just threw out a grazie.
That's right. We got some multilingual party members in here too. He actually visited from one of the Western continents.
Oh, wow. So we're getting characters from all over, it seems.
That's right.
Fantastic. Man, now I'm getting excited about the characters that you haven't been able to talk about yet, that I'm like, oh, I want to know more.
Yeah.
I want to know more about Morono. And now Suzu, Iroha, and Murasame, we see all of these
So this
party
is,
members.
again, the party switching on the fly. So
Wow.
yeah, Suzu's like more your buffer type. So she won't necessarily get directly in combat, but she'll give you buffs and kind of debuff monsters on the field. Then Murasame will kind of come and cut them down the sides for you. Yeah, the maps are also pretty big compared to the previous games as well, so there's lots to explore, lots to find, lots of things to collect. You have things like frog shrines you can go up and get recipes. I mean, there's lots to find in this game.
Now, are each of these kind of like plains maps or areas that you're finding all of these different monsters, are they revisitable? Do they refresh each time you go? Or once you get rid of a monster, do they stay in the ground?
Well, no monsters have gone for good. But yeah, so most of these areas are places that you can kind of revisit day by day. The resources will spawn. Sometimes you get different monster spawns. But it's a great way to kind of build up your resources. Say if you wanted to bring back like lumber and stone for the village, if you wanted to build more decorations or things like that. So it's really a good way to kind of build up your own items and materials if you wanted to make things or kind of grind levels to make your character stronger.
Cool. Now, in addition to, of course, just having amazing characters in your party, or maybe trying to find that perfect party comp or balance, are there any other incentives or benefits to putting specific characters in there?
If you really like them.
If you really like them.
Exactly, yeah. So if you wanted to spend more time with people, sometimes their skills will grow. Maybe your bond will deepen with them. So outside of talking with them, maybe in the village, this would be a good way to kind of make your relationship grow closer together.
Oh, so you're saying that fighting is also a part of the romance, is that correct?
It's always part of the romance, let's be honest.
I mean, nothing says bonding like beating up a colossal Oni together, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
very true.
That's love.
Very
That's true
romantic
goals.
That
activity.
is true love. Dance of Bonds. Now, what's this?
Right, so that's one of the special interactable things you can do in the fields. So that was a frog statue back there. Basically, if you use a certain dance by it, it'll thank you for your service and give you like a new item or recipe that you can use, either like a useful item or maybe even a decoration to use back in the village.
Oh, great. So I saw for a second something popped up saying Shikamaru obtained XYZ, I think in terms of materials, but we don't see Shikamaru, I think, in our party.
Right, so while you're out here exploring, the villagers that you've assigned back to your customizable area at home, they're still doing the farming, they're still getting materials for you. So while you're out doing all that stuff, you're still earning more materials and items.
Oh, wow. So everything's still on that clock.
It's still, exactly, it's all one big cycle.
How great. So the turnips are still growing at home
They're being taken care of
Yes.
by the farm.
by the farmers.
It takes a village.
It,
A literal
it
village.
surely does.
How sweet. Now, the one thing that I don't think that we saw was I saw through the expansive environment. Is there fishing in that area?
Yes, there's still fishing to do. There's still trees to chop. All the Rune Factory staples are still there. You just have to kind of seek it out.
I had to ask. There are,
Right.
huge fishing fans out there. Fishing aficionados, I believe. who
Oh
just
my god.
Aficionados. I see what you
Aficionados.
did there.
I do it on purpose. That's the worst part. But of course, there's still so many things that call back to that fantasy life that a lot of people just love and find them are able to immerse themselves in addition to the combat. So it's always so great to see like a perfectly rounded out game.
Right.
But there's still one thing that I can think of that I think is still missing.
That's right. We talked about relationships before, but there's only one way to truly get to know someone, and that's with a bit of romance.
Ooh.
So right now we're showing off one of the romanceable characters, Hina, right here. And so when you talk to a character, you have the choice to hang out and do different activities together. So each time you do this, you'll have a different kind of variety of options to pick from. Once you get to a certain relationship level with someone,
No way.
Wow.
you get
Wow.
options such as this.
Oh
become available.
my! Scandalous.
Oh my goodness.
She's like, what?
Now I imagine you have to reach a certain relationship level.
Exactly. That's
Right.
Because I was like,
available
that
off the
escalated
bat.
quickly.
Yeah, that's more of an end goal. But I mean, this is what happens when you fight enough Colossal Red Oni together.
Oh, right.
Eventually you reach a point where
Yeah.
you can get to that. Yes.
I think we saw on each of the options, it said like level
Yes.
1 is saying hello. Level 8 was, I think, like an embrace or something. And at the bottom, I think it said that we were at level 10 with Hina.
Exactly, yes. We really like Hina, so she's maxed out. But yes, the more time you spend with characters, the more their quests you do, or the more kind of activities you do together, the more that rank will rise, this bond rank. And so once it reaches a certain rank, you can kind of confess your feelings and take it to the next step, and then do activities like that, or even some more stuff down the line.
Some more stuff down the line. Whoa, what are you talking? We gonna be able to hold hands or something?
Head pats.
Head pats.
Head pats, level 10.
I,
Yeah, so just going back to these options again. So it's not just holding hand or head pats.
wait. Discuss.
You can
something.
discuss something intellectual.
There's a lot you can do together here.
Oh my
Have a friendly chat about nuclear physics.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't always have to take the level 10 each time. There's just a variety of options that you can always do. So if you really like your characters, there's a lot of things you can do with them if you want to kind of maximize your time with them.
Wow. Oh my. So it honestly seems like I was not expecting discuss something intellectual.
Well, that's the thing. So basically, each character has their own likes and dislikes as well. So not everything's going to be a winner for those. So you could choose to discuss something intellectual, but maybe they're not that smart and they don't like that. Big words hurt brain kind of thing.
Of
Yeah,
course.
so you kind of match the activity to the person.
So maybe Hina is very intelligent.
Hina's very smart.
Oh, we learned
Okay.
something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a spoiler alert, guys. Hina.
A little hint, hint.
She's smart. But oh my goodness, we saw village life, we saw combat, we saw romance, and I'm sure that there are still so many more features that we have yet to see from some of the teasers, the trailers, or even what we've seen on the live stream so far. Oh my good, what can you give us any other teases, specials? What can you share? We're so excited to know even more.
Well, I hope you like Hina because I think we have something else that we can show right now too.
We do. Okay, I'm excited. I want more Hina in my life.
All right, so here we go again.
Stop.
3.
Hold hands.
Whoa! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so holding hands in just that quick little scene, sometimes you can have to share a little intimate moment together as well.
Oh, how sweet. When my
It
hero
really feels
took
like you're
hands-
building a relationship with these characters when you're playing through the game.
Oh my god. Okay, so Kaguya has Riz, girl.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Kaguya, yes, and Subaru.
Kaguya. Kaguyas.
Oh, how cute.
I love how cool Kaguya looks.
Yes.
That's just cool.
She's the one who takes the lead.
I mean, let's be honest,
Yeah.
you're both very cool in game.
Yes.
You're saving the world basically with dancing.
You gotta
You're
look
both
cool.
very
With dancing,
Yeah.
throwing it down to save the world.
Exactly.
Oh, she's shy.
So cute.
Yeah, Hina's one of our returning characters too. So she was in one of the previous games, but now she's all grown up and ready to help out in Azuma as well.
Oh, sweet. I can't help but just point out the fact that there was so much more dialogue after holding hands compared to sharing a kiss. It's like,
Again,
this
that's
is
something you build up to. That's end level relationship status.
so sweet. It's like holding hands far more intimate than anything else out there. Oh my goodness. Well, is there anything else that you have to share with us about the game in terms of gameplay?
I'm afraid that we might have to keep that a secret until you play it for yourself.
I'm so excited to learn more and, of course, see more. But thank you so much for sharing so much about the game with us, just in terms of gameplay, knowledge, and some of these sneaky spoiler-ish hints that we were able to weasel out of him. But listen, that was great, and I know that it's gotten me super pumped to play more myself when the game does come out. But listen, that wasn't all that we have to show and talk to you about here today. We are also going to reveal for the very first time a very special collaboration planned for Azuma. Let's take a look. And that is right, everyone. We are going to have a Sakuna collaboration DLC. Making a special appearance from Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Sakuna, the harvest goddess herself, comes to Guardians of Azuma. As a resident of Azuma, you can interact with Sakuna at her home, where she continues to tend to her rice crop. Befriend Sakuna and invite her to join your party for battle. Just make sure to keep some onigiri handy. Additional details will be revealed later. She is so cute holding that onigiri.
So adorable.
Oh my goodness. And I remember seeing Sakuna when it first came out. The art style was absolutely amazing. Have you played through it yourself?
Of course, yeah.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us a little bit about Sakuna for
About
people who
Sakuna,
haven't
I don't
played.
want to take the experience away from people who haven't done it, but basically what I can say is play the game.
Perfect. But yes, just such an amazing character that I'm excited to see also hit Azuma. But also, if you're wondering, who is Sakuna? Well, Sakuna of Rise and Ruin was a side-scrolling action game with deep crafting and farming simulation that released on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. Sold over 1 million units globally and of course was award-winning, so many different awards, including Famitsu's Dengeki, Best Action Game, Best Indie Game, Best Rookie Game, and also nominated for Game of the Year. And even with that, people are so pumped about it that we are getting a animate TV series and of course new games coming from that IP.
Whoa.
And who knows? I feel like you two gotta start
get
auditions.
on
I want to
that.
see you in there.
Yeah.
We'll call our
Who
agents.
can we talk to?
But yes, I can't wait to see what she looks like kind of within the world of Azuma as well, because I can only imagine, because in the game, she seemed like she was kind of,
There we go.
Oh, she's so
She's
cute.
a little nugget.
Ask and you shall receive.
She's so small.
oh my goodness, she is absolutely just so,
So
teeny
cute.
tiny. Now, what is the little green poof ball that's to her right? Are we allowed to know?
That would be her little guardian Tama. It was awesome in the game, yeah.
So cute.
Oh my gosh, she comes up to the
afternoon.
knee.
Oh my gosh. So tiny.
Adorable and cute, but also I feel like her aesthetic just immediately fits right in with
Yes.
kind of like the autumn leaves that we saw around her as well. But okay, I am personally very excited to see Sakuna come to the world of Azuma. That'll be so cute. Oh my goodness. I hope that, you know, she can at least see over some of the enemies though, because
Oh yeah.
she's this big
She's a little
and that
small.
Buffamoo, that's gonna be a 1v1 for
Something
the
tells me she can stand on her own.
Yeah.
don't know.
Give her a few onigiri and
She's small, but packs a wallop.
But
Say
mighty.
that, yeah.
small but mighty.
Exactly.
Well, listen, if you are all wondering to yourself, like, hey, you know what? I want to play this game. How can I pre-order? Well, you know what? We have some information for you, including what version you should be getting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma Earth Dancer Edition and all the swag that comes with it. We've got the Woolby plush keychain, the original soundtrack. We've got the, of course, Guardians of Azuma game, an outer box, a 140-page art book. And of course, look at all of the other DLC inclusions like Festive Attire and Dark Woolby Bundle, Seasons of Love Bundle, Rune Factory 4 Outfit Bundle, and Useful Item Bundle. Would you be able to clue us in a little bit in terms of what some of those in-game bundles are for people who may be curious?
Yeah, I mean, for Woolby in particular, like that's a new way to see Woolby. You'll have all these new extra kind of outfits or things that you can get there. Just a bunch of extra goodies for people.
Amazing. And actually, guys, I think that we just so happen to have some of the prototype items that are a part of the beautiful physical Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma Earth Dancer Edition right behind you. Do you have them?
Oh, yes.
Let's go ahead and pull them out
That's
because we have here
Ah.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
da-da-da-da. Here,
Beautiful.
wait. Not only do we have the fan
Ah.
from Guardians of Azuma, but also a cute little standy uppy case, so you can basically just display it.
A standy uppy
The
case.
perfect standy uppy case.
That probably wasn't the exact terminology, but
I think it's close enough. Yeah.
we get close to it. It's whatever you want to call
It
it.
was as beautiful as a Buffamoo.
Yes.
Buffamoo indeed. But even we can tell that kind of like the theming on the fan that we see, it feels like everything that was selected for the Earth Dancer edition, it seemed intentional, was it not?
Correct. This is actually based on a design from fan in game. So we just brought that to life.
How fantastic.
Oh,
What's that? I'm fired?
Buffa.
Use the fire. Oh.
Oh. But oh my goodness.
Banished from the village.
After seeing all of the gameplay, learning a little bit more about Rune Factory, hearing about the lore, speaking with all three of you, my heart is so full and excited to see Guardians of Azuma. But of course, any impressions from you as we slowly wrap up this stream?
I mean, I've just had such a good time working on this. It's been a long-running project, but there's just so much in this world. Like, we've seen all the village building, all the romance, all the combat. It's so cool. Like, it's everything that you want in one game, and I'm so excited to play it.
I am too, girl.
Yeah, I am as well. I think Suzie will agree with me on that. This project is the single project that we have probably, I don't want to speak for you, but at least for me, I've spent more hours in the booth with Subaru than any other character I've ever voiced. And so it's very important to me and has a lot of meaning to me. And I'm going to choke up thinking about it.
No.
Oh my gosh, no, it's
okay.
It's so, oh, thank you. But I really love this story, and I love these characters, and I love the interactions and the relationships that are in it. And I'm really excited for all of the fans to experience it. So I'm just, thank you so much for having both of us on the game.
Just want to say it was our pleasure.
Well, I'm sure I speak for many of the fans who are watching, saying that they are very excited to see your performance and, of course, all of your hard work and putting everything together. But with that, everyone, the Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma live stream comes to a close. We hope you learned a lot and that what you learned has you excited for this bold new entry in the fabled franchise. Be sure to follow Marvelous USA right here on YouTube and across X, Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram for more on this and all their other titles. For Brandon, Suzie, the Marvelous USA team, and myself, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in Azuma.
Hey. Yeah. What are you looking for?
This is it! Got him where it hurt! I'm too good! Wow! Look at those! Aren't they the cutest accessories you've ever seen?
Forgive me. I didn't mean to make you wait.
Now's our chance. We've almost reached the goal.
It's clear we're united in our desire to fill each other's lives with joy.
We've got trouble! Some kind of shadowy monsters attacking the village!
It will be a long and perilous journey, but the fate of this land rests upon your shoulders.
My life force is all but spent. Dancer, I bid you act in my stead.
I'm sorry. All this happened because I made you an earth dancer.
even if we're destined for destruction. I'll always pray for our world to know peace and happiness!
That's an Earth Dancer's calling. To bring the land and its people together.